Good evening, classmates. Good evening, Doc. We are from Group 2. This is the first part of our continuation of our report last Saturday. Let's continue on the modifiers. The number 3 is fear and its effect on voluntariness. Fear is a mental reaction to a danger, whether real or imagined. It influences person's ability to act freely by making them hesitant, forcing them to act in ways they would not normally choose. These are different ways fear affects our actions. First is act down with fear. These actions carried out despite feeling fear, meaning the person still has the control over their decision. Example, ang isa ka student, nakulbaan sa mag-take sa entrance exam to a certain college to institution, but ginpili niya Japon nga mag-take exam. Okay, so the second one is acts done out of fear. These actions are motivated primarily by fear, making the person act in a way they would not otherwise. So one of the example I gathered on Google is that ang isa ka store cashier isn't being threatened by let's say a robber, a gang, nga dapat ihatag ya ang kwarta kay para hindi sa pagsakitan. So ginhatag ang kwarta sa mga robber out of fear. The last one or the third one is acts done in panic. So panic causes someone to act impulsively without full awareness or control. So too much fear can cause panic. So one of the example I gathered also in internet is that ang isa ka bombero, or let's say ang isa ka taho, naglumpat sa building, kay may sunog. Ang tao ngayon na hindi na gusto maglumpat. Pero kay may sunog, gusto isip kagalingon niya, then naglumpat sa. Yan, that is example number 1. Also, the second example is that a driver suddenly jumped out of the moving car. Kaya ang car na to, may nag-leak ng gasoline, and do feel ya very dangerous na gid. So without thinking of the consequences, nag-dive man sa, naghalin man sa amo na situation. So that's two example that I said is acts done and panic. Okay, so let's go to the violence and its effect on voluntariness. Violence. Okay, the description of violence is involved using force to make someone's act against their will. It can affect a person's actions in two ways. We have the external actions under violence. So when physical force is applied, the person's external action may not reflect their true will. Okay, so there's example. A person is forced at gunpoint to open a bank vault. So ang bank vault amo na sang ginataguan sang kwarta sang isa ka bangko. So arab lang yung ginabuksan na basta nuts na sa. They do it but they don't truly consent. Arang napilitan lang sila, just like the first example sa fear, arab lang hindi mo gusto yung muna sa kabagay, pero wala consent and wala will. I consent, I mean. So, kung baga ginimo mo na lang. Kaya force ka. Okay. We have also the internal acts, will, and consent. If violence is severe enough, it might even force someone to agree internally, changing their personal decision. So one of the example I also gathered on internet, and it is a prisoner repeatedly tortured might eventually give in and believe false information to avoid more suffering. So sa hindi na gusto mag-suffer, nag-give na lang sa sang mga false information para matapos na. Kaya iyab lang sulod-sulod is very nagkapoy-kapoy naging sa hindi na kaya i-endured. So that's the internal acts, will, and consent. So we have the habit and its effect on voluntariness. So a habit, we'll know what a habit is like, yung mga things na imimo ta nga as usual na saton or repeatedly ta ginahimo. So I have the description of it. So a habit is an action repeatedly done until it becomes automatic. So it affects voluntariness based on whether the person resists it or not. So we have also the two types, the two parts of habits. So acts be performed due to habit. So when someone acts based on habit without thinking about it, amo ni sa ang acts performed due to habit. Arang-ara na gid. Do during or tapos na pero ga-ara Japon sila. So, example is a person bites their nails when nervous without realizing it. So, kalabanan sa aton, di ba, do ginagaamo man ta na. Also, gatap-tap atong kamot, aton feet sa dalom sang floor. And also, like, agamo sa buhok ta. And sometimes, arang dubalisa, nga, ginilabtan ta mga tudlo ta. That's also an habit. So, that is acts performed due to habit. So, may habit na gina. So, acts performed while trying to overcome a habit. So, the person actively tries to resist habit but sometimes still does it. So, one example is that ang smoker, gina-try recover ang iyang cigarette addiction. Amo na nga ginimo ina lang, kumbaga, like for example, sang una, gapik sa sang cigarettes, one pack, isa ka adlaw. Pero subong, do ginaimo ina lang stress reliever, kag ginagahan-gahan niya na, kakuha na lang sa mga 3 sticks, nando amo na ang iya nga, gina-overcome niya. Okay, so, let's move on to the next slide. We have the loss and conscience. So the conscience will be reported by my co-reporter and I will be reporting right now the law. Okay, what is law? Law is the rules created by the government to maintain order, protect people, and define what is right and wrong. Ideally, law ensure fairness, but they are not always perfect. So, we have the God laws promote justice. So, ano ni mga laws nagka-promote ng justice? Okay, so laws against theft, murder, and fraud help protect people and maintain peace. For example is anti-discrimination laws ensures equal rights for all netizens. So right now, damo na mga ginapasa nga bill nga possible nga mangin law. Fluid laws can be unjust. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I searched this on internet and may nagkagawa man nga reference, but I am not really sure. Pero, since it's included in my report, I tried to fix it, and if hindi siya mo, I stand to be corrected. So, here's it. Some laws in history were used to oppress certain groups. One of the examples is a segregation laws. In the past, discriminated against people based on race. I also read in an article that this law is white and black American, and I don't remember the one who proposed it, but that's an insight. So even though laws aim for fairness, society must constantly review and improve them to ensure justice for everyone. Okay, so that's all for my report, and for the next to my co-reporter. Thank you.